What is the meaning of life? Could it be maximizing pleasure and avoiding pain? Could it be getting more money in our bank accounts so that we feel happier? Could it be wanting people to see us in a certain way? Or maybe it's about just having fun, or maybe there is no meaning to it at all. In life, we all pretty much want the same thing. We want to maximize the amount of pleasure that we feel and avoid pain at all costs. I would probably be here all day if I stood here telling you about everything that we find pleasurable. But the bottom line is that we're all motivated by some kind of arbitrary or abstract feeling that we belong to something, or we have some kind of purpose in life. Now, we all have our own ambitions and things that we want to do and accomplish in our lives, and maybe we don't even want to do anything at all. Nobody should be able to tell you what you should get out of life or what you should want out of life. That is completely and entirely up to you to decide. It is your life after all. But this is where we face our first problem in life, figuring out what the hell we want to do with it. Some of us may set arbitrary goals, like getting a certain amount of money in our bank accounts or getting a degree, because when we satisfy these goals, we think that we will feel satisfied. And when we're satisfied, we feel pleasure. Which brings us back to the idea of pleasure. If we think we're going to get pleasure from doing something or accomplishing a goal, this causes us to desire to accomplish that goal. And then we begin to crave that goal. And everyone in life does desire something. It's very hard to be alive and not desire anything. It's like if I were to stare at a pint of Ben & Jerry's ice cream. I'm gonna start drooling. But take that concept and apply it to a long-term goal over the span of my entire life, and I'm basically drooling every single day. And when we set these arbitrary goals for ourselves to achieve, we think that in order to feel gratification, we need to satisfy the goal. Going back to the pint of Ben & Jerry's thing, it's going to feel satisfying to eat that. And we think the same thing of these goals that we've come up with. But if you or I were to choose to set a long-term, lifetime goal, it can actually cause more problems than anything because we desire to accomplish the goal more than anything. And you can literally never desire anything enough. The thing that you desire will always be ahead of you, so you will constantly be chasing this thing for the rest of your life. So while setting goals in life can be a great thing and it can give us a sense of purpose in life, you need to understand that fulfilling these goals won't make you any better of a person than you are now, and you won't have anything more than what you have now. So maybe think of setting a clear and defined goal. Like if your goal is to try to make a boatload of money, maybe set an amount that you'd be satisfied with retiring on. And I'll actually give you a personal example of this. Before making this video, I decided to go out and run 30 miles. I'll play the clips now. Hello friends. I know I look a little miserable right now. But that's because I'm running and walking 30 miles. I'm kind of just doing this because I want to put myself through something difficult. Because I'm making a lot of pretty big choices in my life, and I'm using this day to sort of represent what the path ahead might look and feel like, just to see if I really want what's on the other side. Right now I'm 24 miles in, and I'm walking. Anyways, if any of you guys are marathon runners or runners in general, you may be aware my time right now is not the best. But there's a frog. I don't really care though. I really think anyone who wants to try running, just set a distance for yourself and don't worry about the time if your goal is distance. If your goal is time, then yes, worry about the time, but don't beat yourself up if you can't get it. I think positive self-talk is the way to get through these kinds of things because it is very painful, and I am the only one out here. So there's no one to pat me on the back or tell me to keep going. Yeah. Well, you would not believe it, but I finished. And luckily, my mom actually came to the rescue near the end. Man, this was tough. Oh my God, this was tough. So, I think I've probably said just about everything that I need to say. I finished. I know what this video is about now, so I'm sure future me is probably yapping. So, I'm gonna let him get back to his yapping. Now, for me personally, running these 30 miles was a way for me to test myself and put some conviction behind my words. And the reason I wanted to test myself was because lately I've made some life choices and life decisions that I needed to be certain of. So this was a way for me to put some conviction behind my words and see if I really wanted to achieve these goals that I've set for myself, which is why I'm making this video now. But let me clarify something though. You never have to prove yourself, and especially don't prove yourself to other people. If you worry what other people think of you, you'll always be acting in a way that isn't who you truly are. And don't rob the world of who you truly are. If you're going to prove yourself, it should only be to yourself. And if you don't even want to prove yourself, don't feel like you have to. You do not have to change at all if you don't want to. I also believe that there is probably a good balance between conviction behind what we say and changing our minds when we're wrong. Right now I have a pretty clear grasp of what I want to do in the future, but it's a broad idea, and I'm aware that years down the road, my goals and ambitions and wants out of life might change. And I'm perfectly fine with that, and I'm open to that. So if you are choosing to do anything, don't see it as an all or nothing type deal. Just kind of shoot for the moon and land on a star. The idea is to sacrifice our time and energy in the present so that we can experience pleasure in the future. And when I say the future, I mean something like 10 years minimum, maybe even longer than that. I don't know. Now, it's important to note that I am young and stupid as hell. And I also don't know everything about life, and I hardly know a thing about life. So all of this is just my best understanding of what's going on. I've made countless mistakes in my life, and I will definitely continue to make mistakes. But one thing is for certain though, I'm not afraid to keep making mistakes and to keep learning from them. Making mistakes is a pretty painful thing, and nobody likes to experience pain. Pain is a painful thing, which is why we all try to avoid it. But in a lot of cases, it is unavoidable. In order to accomplish some of the goals that we have, we need to understand and accept that pain is just part of the package. Those 30 miles that I ran, I had to accept that pain was just going to be a part of it. And with any of our long-term goals, would they really be worth achieving if there wasn't some kind of a challenge involved? I don't really think so. Now, I touched on this idea a little bit in my last video, so if you care, feel free to go check it out. But life itself should not be seen as a challenge or a struggle. In fact, I would say our goals shouldn't even be seen as a challenge or a struggle. It's my belief that we should look ahead to the future with a smile on our face and not be afraid of what might happen. And if you are faced with a challenge in life, try to remind yourself that it's only as big of a challenge as you make it out to be. So if you have something like a test or a job interview coming up, prepare for it as best as you can and do your best. That's really the only thing that's in your power and that you can really do. And I'll say this once again, but never feel the need to prove yourself to be the best at anything. Nobody is better than anyone else. We're all worth the same amount. We're all humans. Nobody is worth more than you and I. Just try to be the best version of yourself possible, because that's really all you can do. Now, the last thing I'll leave you guys off with is when you're trying to be the best version of yourself, don't be surprised if people treat you differently or they still continue to treat you a certain way. Just pay them no mind. You'll never be able to control what other people do and what they think about you. Just keep focusing on yourself, Keep improving. I believe in you. I think that'll be it for this video. If you guys have anything that you'd like to add, leave a comment below. If you have any future video suggestions, or I don't know, just anything that I missed, just any thoughts in general, leave a comment below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like, and if you want to see more of this content, please subscribe to my channel. I am uploading weekly from now on, and I will see you guys next Friday. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.